just thought, you know, how many of you are familiar with the Aging and Disability Resource Center? Okay, so good, a few hands. Ron, can I pick on you? What would you say we do or we are, in your view?
You do a great job.
But if a friend asked you, Ron, what is that Aging and Disability Resource Center? What do they do?
Do just about everything for older adults.
Okay, great.
As well as disability.
Yep, great. So Ron said we do just about everything for older adults, which thank you, but not quite everything, but yes, and for people with disabilities. We really want you to think of us as a one-stop shop for resources and connections for just getting older, which I would like to argue since the day you were born, you were getting older. And today was all about planning ahead, right? Planning for the unknown. And so and if a disability ever happens in your life, which chances are somebody in your family, whether through age or physical or mental disability, that can happen. So our resources are unbiased. We're kind of that neutral resource, and we serve you whether you make $5 a month or you made what Bill Gates makes a month, right? So we help you navigate all of that and really plan ahead, look at private resources, but also help you into publicly funded long-term care if that's what you need. So we were thinking, Leslie and I were doing some pretend phone calls of what we kind of hear through the office and what people call us for. Unless there's a question you have that you're just, like, what's a question you might have, pretend you're calling us and we'll give you a good example. No burning questions that you can think of off top? Come on, where's all that brain? Yeah.
I can't make my food anymore, I need help.
I can't make my food anymore and I need help. See, does this come on? Oh, it does. Good. Oh, you have to come up here, Leslie. Watch the step. Okay, so you can't make your food anymore. Tell me what's going on. Is it just getting a little bit more difficult for you? Yeah.
Well, I fell down and now my arm is sore and it's in this thing and I just don't know how to get the food anymore.
Okay.
I'm not eating very well.
Yeah, not eating as well. So it sounds like you hurt yourself from a fall and you're looking for some help. Great. You know, we have some different options out there. There's Meals on Wheels, where we can provide a volunteer to bring you a meal at your home once a day. Heck, it provides 1/3 of all the nutrition, the good brain health nutrition that you need during the day. Would that be helpful for you? Yeah, and a lot of, you know, with Meals on Wheels and some of that, it's based on suggested donations. So the typical cost is
$4 is the suggested donation. But you know, I have another idea too, and if it works out for you, you know, we know that one really important part of our brain health is to remain socially active, and so we can help you get to the senior center where they're serving meals. And I got to tell you, those meals are delicious. So those are a couple of options for you.
Yeah, that's a great point. Socialization is good for the brain health. So we have transportation options that can help you get to those senior centers. In fact, you could also have somebody maybe come into the home and help you meal prep and get some meals in.
Is it $4 per meal or $4 per week?
$4 suggested donation per meal. So at the end of the month, you get kind of a statement and you pay whatever you can afford towards that. Yeah.
So what's the transportation?
Transportation we have is our AdLife transportation, depending on, of course I should say, where you live. There's lots of transportation options, so tell me where you're from, which city? Barron, okay. So you probably use our AdLife transportation, and Leslie can tell you a little bit more about that.
Sure, we can just pick you up at your door, and actually somebody can walk up and help you back to the vehicle. It's really a comfortable vehicle too. It's not a big bus or anything like that. It's just a minivan. So it's real easy to get in and out of, and we'll take you to the senior center, or we'll take you to the grocery store, wherever you'd like to go. And you never have to worry about being left behind, because we have all sorts of things, checks and balances to make sure that people not only get their ride to where they need to go, but they get their ride home, because that's pretty important too. But there are other transportation options too. We've got some volunteers that might be helpful. We can also maybe connect you with Namacoggin Transit. And you know, there's a lot of different things, so why don't you tell me a little bit about how you're having trouble getting around, what's going on? Do you not drive anymore?
I can't drive anymore.
Okay, yeah, that happens. That definitely happens. One of the things I would just like to mention too, when you think about the ADRC, or I always like to think about it, and maybe my staff don't like me to say these things, but I always think of our staff as being weathermen. Now you think to yourself, that's kind of a weird thing, or meteorologists, if you will. And I think about that because, you know, one of the things when we're talking about planning for the unknown or planning for our future, it's important to kind of have kind of a plan about what's going to happen when it's just sort of overcast. What are you going to do? What kinds of things do you have in place when your health is just a little overcast, or when your situation, I'm thinking about not driving anymore. Well, what do you do when it starts drizzling out? Do you have a plan for that? Do you have a plan for when it's raining very hard? And, well, do you have a plan for when there's a hurricane? Because all of those things matter, and they matter especially when you're talking about spending your money and how you want to spend it. Do you want to spend it a little bit at a time while it's overcast and make that money last a long time, and that's a perfectly acceptable way to do it? Do you want to wait until it's coming down pretty hard? Then it's going to take a little bit more of your money to stay you know, as independent as possible, and you'll go through it a little faster, and that's a perfectly acceptable way to do it too. Many people choose to do that. Or you can wait until the hurricane, and you're going to go through it like that. And as long as people understand, and that's the job of our staff at the ADRC, is to really help people understand what are their different options at different places in their lives, or where they're at in their life. So maybe they're not quite meteorologists, but they are helping you figure out, you know, do you bring an umbrella? Do you just stay home? Or what is going on? So really, it's really about just knowing how to plan for those rainy days, because basically we're talking about people's rainy day funds sometimes. So we want to make sure that people understand the different ways that their rainy day fund can be spent to help them stay as independent as possible. So that's why our staff are meteorologists. So, and I know that we are running behind, but basically the ADRC is really there to just help you figure out sometimes how to navigate all the different things that you learn about, or find out what the options are. Who can I go to? Who can help me with hospice? What are my hospice options in this area? How can I have somebody come in and check my blood pressure, or to do some of these other things? So that's what we're there for, is to really help people find out what the different options are that are available to them. When I say them, I'm talking also about caregivers, because a lot of the people that we work with are the folks calling and saying, I'm really worried about my mom. She has fallen twice in the last 6 months. She needs to go to a nursing home. That we get calls about a lot, and we know that isn't necessarily the case, and it's really about finding out why they're concerned about mom. So, a couple of ways or things we want to also mention real quickly for our office is, one, to stay really connected to us. This is actually a publication that is put out by our office. Dancing Oak Publisher is the publishing company, but most of the copy in here comes from the Aging and Disability Resource Center. If you're in Washburn County, it's called The Focus, and if you're in Rusk County, it's called The Source. In Barron, it's called The Review, formerly the Senior Review, but we did change the name because we realized that there's a lot of good things in here for people, adults of all ages, really. So. The other thing we want to just mention real quickly, Tricia, you want to talk about?
Yep, so I didn't mention, I forgot with my brain health presentation, that our staff can also offer memory screens, which give you a good baseline of where you're at. I have a sign-up sheet in the back. They take about 10 minutes. They give you immediate results, and they're confidential. It's looking at 3 different parts of your brain, just like how you'd get a blood pressure check. It doesn't diagnose anything, it gives you a good baseline so you can monitor those, any changes, and give you a good baseline. And again, just because there might be concerns in there doesn't mean that it's Alzheimer's or another dementia. There's a lot of physical stuff, including medications that can affect your brain. So I'd encourage you to get a memory screen. We can come to your home, you can come to our office, whatever works best for you.
And it really is very important to get that. I actually have, I've gotten 2 of them. I get one every year so that my staff can pay attention as to when it's time for me to retire, maybe, I don't know. Or their subtle way of monitoring me. I need to practice on somebody, so.
Yeah. Oh, and I was just going to say, I have handouts too for the brain health. I've got puzzles for you to take home that are math problems, word problems, finding your way through a maze, emotional intelligence. So take that packet and practice with a friend. That's going to get a lot of brain activities going. So I left those in the back as well.
And finally, I just want to say that I left one of my business cards back there as well, and you can call our office. It has the number to our agency, so just give us a call. And I know that for many of you, I have talked to you for various reasons, most of the time when I've been out in the community, so it's good to see some of you again that I haven't seen in a long while. So.
Yep. And to wrap it up again, just know that we're able to come out to folks' homes. We can meet with you on weekends or evenings. We know that people's time schedules are different as well. And we have a lot of stuff. I know when Amy said she had fallen, one of the things that popped in my mind too was we've got a lot of great health promotion programs. People want to stay healthy. If I retire at 65, I could have another 30 years, maybe 40 years. That's a long time. And I'm sure like many of you here, you want those years to have good quality in them. So we have great falls prevention workshops, living well with any type of ongoing condition like congestive heart failure, things to help you manage yourself and also reduce falls. So we want people to remain as healthy as possible, and we've got a lot of those great workshops. They're evidence-based, meaning that it's like a prescription. They're proven to work. So we have those available in your community, and they're usually low cost. Thank you so much.